Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. Let's get started. Get my supplies. Okay, I'm going to be using soft succulent, polished pink, fresh freesia, soft suede, evening evergreen, and pool party. So lots of inks. For my cardstock, I have a piece of copy paper. It's over here on the side. I've already die cut that, but just so I'm mentioning it. I have a scrap, a 1/4-inch strip of pool party, a scrap of white. This is about 3/8 of an inch. A scrap of black, which is about 1/2 inch. This is a 2-inch by 5.5-inch piece of Flowers and Field Designer Series paper. It's one that you could have got during Saleabration. I have a 2.5 by 4-inch piece of white, a 2 3/4 by 4.5-inch piece of black, a 4 by 5.25-inch piece of white, a 4 1/4 by 5.5-inch piece of black, my card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. So I need these 2 white pieces left out. Okay, for stamps, I'm using this new one, Beauty of Friendship, which will be coming up in the new annual catalog. I'm going to be using these, those ones, and this stamp, and the hello. And then I'm going to use basic borders dies. I've got 2 of them. I'm going to be using this curved arch one, and I'm going to cut that out of the front of, I'm going to cut it out of this paper here. And then I'm used this cloud one and cut it out of the piece of scrap paper. This is just copy paper, printer paper. Okay. This one away, this down here. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and die cut this, get it out of the way so I don't have to continue to do that. And I'm just going to line this up on here however I want to do it. It doesn't have to be straight, it can be as arched or crooked as you want it. And I will be right back. Okay, that's what I ended up with. These aside for a minute. Put my stamps aside. I'm going to bring in this piece here, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and the piece of printer paper that I've cut the cloud shape from. I'm bringing one of our blending brushes and Pool Party ink. And I'm going to just stencil some clouds on. And I have the hoops at the top. And I'm just going to hold the paper down, hold the card in place. And I'm going to start on the paper and just add a little bit of ink. And then I'm going to move it. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do this all the way down the card. Let's move it over here. Let's move it over here. Over here. Okay, then give it a little check, see if there's any spots you wanted any more. Add a little bit more darkness over here. Not that it matters, but. And then I think I want a little bit more up here at this top. Okay, so we're done with the pool party ink. We're done with our brush. So I'm just going to bring in a rag. It's an inky one. I'm just going to do one little spritz of my Stampin' Mist in the middle of it. And I'm going to rub off on that Stampin' Mist. And then rub off on a clean section here. Get all the Stampin' Mist off of it. That's how I clean it. Then there's nothing left on it. See? Okay. Alright, so we're done with that part. Now let's stamp our tree. Bring this in. And I'm going to start with the tree, the trunk itself. I'm going to use soft suede ink. Bring in the tree. And I'm not going to ink the whole thing. I'm going to stop about maybe ½ an inch from the bottom. So I'm just going to ink. I'm going to do a partial inking here. Okay, then I'm going to stamp that right in the center of my card. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with, there's two of the tree ones. So I'm going to come in with the one with the least amount of, this one's got bolder images. I'm going to come in with the one with the more details. And I'm going to bring in the soft succulent ink. Okay, then I'm going to stamp this towards the top here. Basically, I'm using this tree branch form and I'm making an evergreen tree with it. That's why I made this stem shorter, or this branch shorter. Okay, awesome. Now I'm going to come in with the evening evergreen. And this other more detailed one. Make sure I get it inked. Okay, I'll line it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Stamp it down. Okay. I'm also going to use this color for this little bottom piece. I'm going to stamp that down here under the tree. And then I'm going to kind of do that. Feather it out a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the fresh freesia. And this little polka dotty one. And I'm going to stamp a bunch of fresh freesia all across the bottom here. Okay. And I'm going to come in with the polished pink. I'm going to add some of that. And I didn't clean it, I just made sure it was stamped off till it was not a lot of color on it. Okay, that looks good. So I've got like an arch of those pink and purple. Alright, now the only other stamping I need to do is for the here, this piece. I'm going to bring in the hello and soft suede again. Don't want to press too hard with this one, just tap it lightly. And towards this end, I'm going to stamp that hello. Awesome. Alright, now we can assemble our card. I take this piece, the hello, I'm going to mount it to our black strip. I'm not going to need the whole thing, but so we're going to line up so that it has shadow on 3 sides, or has a edge on 3 sides. I'm not going to worry about this side because it's going to go right to the edge of my card. Okay, like that. Okay, now let's mount this to this black layer. Okay, awesome. Let's put dimensionals on the back of this. I'm just going to use these edges up. Snips, where did I put them? I don't know, so I'm bringing another pair. I had them a minute ago, so I don't know where I left them. Alright, put that aside for a minute. I'm going to bring in this black piece, and we're going to mount our piece that we did the clouds on. You decide which way you want it, whichever way looks better for you. Okay, then we're going to bring in this piece. I should have done that before I glued that down. So I'm going to go over to my, I think I want it on this side. I think I'm going to go over and cut this at 4 inches because this is 4 by 5 1/4. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now we'll glue this to the card. I should have put this on before I put this white piece on. And that way you could put it on and then trim it off. This works too. Okay, now we're going to add this piece. I'm going to take that backings off of those dimensionals. We're going to set this onto more towards the left side, down closer to the bottom. Sort of how this arch is going to mimic this arch. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in this piece and we're going to snip this end here at an angle. We're going to figure out how long we want it to be. I'm going to snip this other end. going to turn it over. This end is going to get a dimensional on the back of it. So I got a little tiny piece here. I'll just stick that on the back. And this end is going to get glue on it. That's going to go here, like that. Now the hello one is going to go across like this. We're going to do the same thing. We need a dimensional here and glue here. Nope, there's not one on there. Bring in a dimensional. Put it down towards the bottom of it, because there's already one here, so you don't want that to stick up. Actually, I think I'm going to cut it in half. And then I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so go here. See, towards the bottom. Take that backing off. Got a little glue on this end. Now we want it to be, we don't want it to be right overlapping. We want it to be this way a little bit. Set it down. Then we're going to pick this up. We're going to turn it over and snip that off. Perfect. Okay. Now we can mount this to the front of our card. Alright, and then the finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some holiday rhinestones. I'm going to take one of these large green ones, and one of the middle ones, and one of the little tiny ones. Put them all in a straight line row. Get them where you want them. Push them down. There you go, there's our card for today. And here's the one I did previous. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.